Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers, and sisters. Welcome to a brand new season here at Simsport Racing on the iRacing platform, the TCR Championship. We kick things off at Cheshire's finest, that being Oulton Park. My name is Chris Buxton, and I'll be your commentator throughout this evening's race. The camera direction being done by Tom Vandermeer. Very much thankful for your efforts, good sir. Right. What can we expect from tonight's festivities? Well, 20-minute qualifying, which is underway. We've had a practice session that preceded this broadcast. We've got 12 drivers currently in the sessions. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they've got on offer. And if the practice times were anything to go by, that was close. Very, very close indeed. Lots of familiar names, those that are familiar with the iRacing side over here at SSR. Then there's a number of names you'll recognize, even the ACC and what have you. There's several names, mixing it with some newer names as well. Very much looking forward to how that gets on. Two races, one dictated by the grid that we will be forming, of course, once this qualifying session is done. And the second race is reverse grid. The entire field reversed from the results of race number one. So, oh, yes, I'm a big fan of reverse grids. I know not everybody likes them. I do. So we will crack on. You can see at the top left corner, 20-minute qualifying session, which is underway. Not too far into it yet to see a time on the board. I believe it's a solo qualifying session, so we'll only see one car at a time out there, and we are looking at Stephen Haley at the present time. You can see at the bottom the various sectors and mini sectors where people are setting good times, but you won't see their cars all on the track at the same time. Oh no, there we go. We just literally, just as I said that, I thought it was a solo qualifying session, so we just literally saw something coming out of the pits. Never mind, you will see other cars whilst we're out there. Stephen Haley, first time on the board at 1:45.15. Now he was one of only two drivers to get under 1:45 in the practice sessions. So very much expecting hot things from Stephen Haley, who's again a regular over here at SSR. We've seen his name numerous times, so we look forward to seeing how he does. Whoops, yes, getting a little bit. Commentator curses strong in me today. He's going to bury that one into the wall at Shell Oil corner. That's how easily it can go wrong. If you are too wide at Einen Bend, which is where that started to go wrong for Stephen, you've got very little chance of catching that before you bury yourself in the dust up there at Shell Oil's corner. Now then, who are we looking at here? That I believe is Michael Heffenden, if I pronounce that correctly. Well, there's no time set on that particular occasion, just starting a new lap for Michael. That's a name I'm not so familiar with. David Russell's got a time on the board, 1:46.67, so we'll hopefully get a bit more time from him. Simon Wilkes, that was the other driver that got under 1:45. He is second now on the table, 1:45.58. David Russell's a definite regular over here at SSR, 1:46.67. Number of drivers yet to get a time on the board, but still 3/4 of the qualifying session left to go. Steve Proudly, or what do we call him? He's usually a broadcaster over here at SSR. It's great to see that he's out there, turning wheels again. Very much looking forward to seeing how he does. Smash It Proudly, that was what Steve Smash It Proudly was the nickname that was given to him. I've actually forgotten who it was that dubbed him that. But out there doing what he can. It's all Hyundais that have got their times on the board at the moment. Martin Bridstone, hopefully that's how you pronounce it, 1:47.41. We expect that to come down a little bit more. Is that another time on the board? No, we did have one Honda out there, and there it is. It is indeed Steve Proudly, our sole Honda driver. SSRi. Yes, I've just been corrected. Yes, old habits. Me calling it SSRi. Of course, it's international. Thank you, Cameron, who's just secretly messaging me that one. Thank you very much, Mr. Fife. So, half the field now with a time on the board. Daniel Williams. I wanted to say Williamson for some reason. Oh, that's Older Stepanovsky that has jumped up to second with a 45.19. Now, if that's who I think it is, that's Oldrich Stepanovsky of the Czech Republic. I think that's who that is. If so, that is a name I do recognize. There is, however, a name out there we don't know, and that's the one in the bottom left-hand corner of the time. Was until it scrolled called Assassin. We don't actually know who that is, so hopefully they don't live up to their namesake. Night Stalker, however, it is a bit unusual to have gamer tags in iRacing, as we are watching one of the Audis flying through Cascade. Night Stalker is Kira Vidago, who again is a regular top talent over here at SSRi. Get used to the correct pronunciation there. We're now starting to see the times form. Now that's interesting. Now Stepanovsky didn't really set. I don't think set a time at all in the practice session. Just double check my notes. No, didn't set a time in the practice session at all. So I wasn't certain where Alder was going to appear. So it's good to see his name now jump up there as David Wrestle just come over the line. What did he do then? That was his. I think that was his best in time, but didn't improve in position. 1:45.67. Very close. There is Simon Wilkes just coming over the line. Does he improve? No. Slightly slower that time, only by a few tenths. That is Older Stepanovsky, who I was just mentioning. You can see the highlighted number on the tower is who we are staring at. Just coming over the line. Does he improve? Let's see. Yes, that's a pole time for Stepanovsky by 1,000th of a second. Sorry, 100th of a second. I'm not even reading my own numbers right. 100th of a second separating Stepanovsky and Stephen Haley. That is Night Stalker, or Kieran Vidago, as we were mentioning earlier, as Michael Bridson brings his car back into the pits. Still waiting for a time from Jake Belcher, Michael Haffenden, Tim Fulbrick, and the unknown assassin. As mentioned, hopefully he doesn't live up to his name. As Kieran Vidago crosses the line, big expectation on his shoulders. I've seen him perform blindingly well in pretty much anything that he has taken to the track. He's only, he's not even a 10th of a second off of David Wrestle. So we'll look forward to seeing how he does. Speaking of, there he is. He's a beautifully coloured Hyundai, very much Hyundai dominating at the top of the table at the moment. Our sole Honda in the hands of Mr. Proudly, currently in 7th position. We do have some Audis out there. There's not yet all of them representing a time. What does David Wrestle do? Does he improve? 1:45.67 sees him in 4th place. Does he improve? He does not. Steve Proudly does, however, in the Soul Honda. He jumps up to 6th position with a 45.84. Never mind, just been punted down again. Daniel Williams up to 6th. And Simon Wilkes has retaken the pole spot with a 44.86. So getting under that 145 spot again is Simon Wilkes. What was his practice time? It was 1:45.89. So he's already quicker than he was in practice. Forward to seeing how he stacks up. Then there was Stephen Haley heading towards the line, or will be fairly soon, I should say. Stepanovsky back in the pits. Michael Haffenden is just leaving the pits. There is Stephen Haley just coming over the line. What does he do? Does he improve? No, he does not improve. Wow, did he match his best last time around? He's managed to do 1:45.15 twice. Very nicely done. Now this is Tim Fulbrick, yet to get a time on the board in one of the Audis. 2 Audis on the board at the moment, as you can see in the tower. Rounds where many a lap has died. Lodge corner, now up and over through Deerleap and over the line. What time does Tim Fulbrick in the number 97 car get on the board? No, that one was either his outlap or it was invalid. So let's ride it. Can we ride on board, please, Tom? So we'll follow this lap through Denton. There we go, through Cascades. You can get an idea of how much the driver has to work and the undulation change that this track has. Lakeside is this particular straight coming into Island Bend. Now, this is where we saw, I think it was Stephen Haley, get it all wrong and bury his car into the dust, as we just see Kieran Vidago Daniel Williams jump up into 5th position with a 45.72. Shell oil corner, heavily banked right-hander, bang on the throttle, then screaming through towards Britain's very, very, very tricky chicane. Many a lap and many a car has died in that particular spot. over the hilltop and heading down towards the Hislops and Knickerbrook complex. 8 times now on the board from our 12 cars in the session. Oh, that was a bit deep, in my opinion, for Tim Fulbrook. He has managed to wrestle that car around. Kisses the apex in Knickerbrook, then heading towards Clay Hill, which is this apex and crest here. Then the water tower. I can't actually remember that. Yeah, the water tower is actually there. Couldn't remember if that water tower was still there or not. Druids Corner now is really very, very tempting double right-hander. It tempts you to go quicker than your car is really capable of doing. And then it's the dreaded Lodge Corner. Bit of a blind apex on the way in. It's quite a long apex. It goes over the crest. A lot of undulation change for this corner. And then it is flat out through Dearly, this last left-hander, and to the line. What does Tim Fulbrook in the 97 Audi get on the board? It is... wow! It's pole, no less, with a 44.72. Struth! Well, Tim didn't set a time in practice, was actually very late to the practice session. Holy moly, we're going to... Well, that's going to put the cat amongst the pigeons somewhat, as the old English phrase says. Wow, that was an absolute stormer there from our new pole sitter, Tim Fulbrook. Another time from Martin Bridson, puts him into 5th position at 45.44, and Daniel Williams has improved again at 45.47 for him, just 300 behind. Simon Wilkes returns to the pits. Jake Belcher has ruined his lap somewhere. I saw his name appear as off track on my timing screen here, and this must be Haffenden, I believe. Oh, it's Assassin. We don't actually know who this individual is. Straight in the middle of the pack. 145.46. 100th ahead of Williams, and just a 200th behind Bridson. Very, very nice. Really tightly pumped times, as you can see on the tower. Very, very close times in this race. This is what I was really looking forward to. Stephen Haley gets across the line again, starting another lap. No, he wasn't. He was finishing a lap, and it's pole again for the number 24 Hyundai. Goodness me. That pole very heavily contested. There is Fulbrook wanting to reclaim that pole spot. Now, the top time in practice was a 44.43, which was set by Stephen Haley. So he's still got a couple of, a 10th in hand if he can find it again. Over the line does Fulbrook. Does he improve that time? 44.72 his previous. No, that must have been an outlap, or he's managed to match it again. So no improvement for Tim Fulbrook. Very hotly contested. Lots of people out there doing lots of laps. The only person we don't have a lap from is actually Jake Belcher. He is out there. There he is. Again, it looks very tight when you're coming through the Britain chicane, and it has to, because you are so close to those really heavy concrete bollards in the middle. You've got to get the best time. Oh, wow, the Audi didn't want to turn in. That looked like a lot of understeer from that camera angle, but he's moving on nonetheless. Out of Knickerbrook, then, here we go. This is the lap we were riding on board with Kieran Vidago earlier. And let's see what we get on the board. Through Clay Hill, past the water tower, into Druids. Whoa, too much. Yep, and exactly what I said, it tempts you to go quicker than your car is realistically going to take it, because it looks fairly flat out. It really isn't. There's, again, a fair amount of undulation chain. Careful how you rejoin the track. There we go. Nicely done. Oh dear. Trouble for Jake Belcher then. Oh, there's a lot of people around him. He's a very popular boy at the moment. Oh no, and he's spun, trying to get back on track. Goodness me. Not a good day in the office, but still time on the board though for Jake to get a lap on the board. That was Bridson we were looking at. There's Aldrich Stepanovsky, who was an earlier pace setter in this session. Still in a strong position of 4th, 145.14, his time that put him into 4th place. He's about half a second down on his previous time. You can see on the timing screen at the bottom, he's improved around the end of kind of Sector 1, beginning of Sector 2, but has not managed to match his pace from earlier in the Audi. Mainly Audi and Hyundai in this field, just like we said earlier, just the sole Honda are proudly. And what was that from Stepanovsky? That was an improvement in time, but not position. 44.88. 200th off the back of Simon Wilkes, a 10th off the back of Fulbrook, and 3/10 off the back of Haley. Oh, yes, that's hossing up somewhat. Gives me a second separates first to seventh in this field, and it's quite a long lap for touring cars here at Oulton Park. Now, this is one of the I've seen touring car racing done here at Oulton Park, and it's mad. It's absolutely mental because the track is so narrow. But that just means that people have to be a bit more inventive about how they go about their racing. Because truth alive, there ain't a lot of room, and if you do make a mistake, the barriers are waiting with open arms. It is sixth place, Assassin. Is that an improvement? Improvement in time but not position. 45.46 still his time. And we will see how well he does as the session continues. Still no time from Jake Belcher at the moment. There is Michael Haffenden currently in fifth position. Where are you on track? You are... that's right at the beginning of the lap. So it's down through Cascades. Long left-hander. It's not too bad if you go a little bit wide. You will lose some momentum, but nothing too drastic. It's here where if it goes wrong, it goes wrong very horribly. Here at Island Bend, there's a fair amount of dust, as we've seen several times. But if you go wide, you are onto the dust and the sand. You either hit that tyre wall that just went out the shot there, or you end up burying it in the outside tyre wall. It's generally not a pleasant experience, no matter which way round you do it. Into Britain's for the Audi. So Hyundai, Audi, Hyundai, Audi, Audi, Hyundai. So no one mark dominating the order, which is good to see. Well, it's good to see unless you're a fan of the mark, of course. Into Hislops. Knickerbrook now for Haffenden. And it's all yellows. Unfortunately, he's not finding time on his fifth place time of 1:45.38. Not long to go before we get race number one underway, or before this qualifying session ends. So there's not a lot of time. And Jake Belcher's off track again, according to my timing screen. So no joy for him. Several people in the pits that will not have time to get out there and get a lap done. And where is Jake? Oh, he's coming down to Hislops himself. There's our pole man, Stephen Haley. Is a distinctive green livery. I say, well, it is distinctive. I'm terrible at remembering whose car is who. I'll remember by the time we do the final race of the season, of which there are 6. There are 6 races in this season, and they're all fantastic tracks. Well, these are fantastic cars. They're always going to be great fun no matter where we go. That is 4th position. That's Stepanovsky in the plain white car. Down towards, and the session is done. So it's Stephen Haley that takes the top spot. Tim Fulbrook in the 2nd place. Row 2 is Simon Wilkes and Older Stepanovsky. 3rd row is Michael Haffenden and Martin Bridson. 4th row is Assassin and Daniel Williams. 5th row, David Russell and Kieran Fidalgo. I'm surprised to see Kieran actually down towards the back of the field. And the final row is Steve Proudley and Jake Belcher. Jake not setting a time during the qualifying session. He managed a 46.4 in the practice session, which would have kind of put him where he already is. So could be struggling a bit with these touring cars. We will see. Central East. I was looking to see what flag Mr. Stepanovsky had to see if it was Czech Republic, but no, he's denied me. Of course he has. Okay, so this is where everybody readies up, and we will get race number 1 underway. As a reminder, 2 races per round, or per evening's racing, I should say. So something that's just made me laugh is on the I was wondering how Mr. Assassin in 7th position was going to be displayed on the tower. Apparently, he's an undefined assassin. Oh dear, that's a tough ride if you're an assassin, if you're undefined. Well, who am I to judge? It's a modern world. So just waiting for Mr. Stefanovsky and Michael Haffenden to ready up and get onto the field. Ready or not, we will be rolling. And then, like I said, race number 1 will get underway. And then 20 minutes of flat-out racing waiting for us here at Oulton Park, Cheshire's finest and fabulous circuit it is. It's one I haven't been to. I've been to several around the UK, but sadly, Oulton Park is not one of them. It's actually a very long way from where I live. Never mind. Time to get race number 1 underway. We know what this sequence means. It is time to wind them up and let them, wait for it, and let them go. Who is going to have a storm? Oh my goodness, Stepanovsky had a cracking start to already jump up into second position. There he is in the plain white car on the left-hand side of the shot, but doesn't quite hold on to second. Stephen Haley stormed away from the pole spot. Second is I can't read the timing tab properly. It's actually, oh my goodness, look how close they are. Tim Fulbrook, he's in second. Wilkes third. Stepanovsky in fourth. Oh, several people. David Wrestle has had trouble, as well as Kieran Vidago at the tail end of the field. But look how close they are as we scream through Island Bed for the first time in anger. Stephen Haley is the only one with any real breathers. Well, I was going to say that, and then Fulbrook really late on the brakes. Look at that. The Audi Hyundai almost locked together as they come out of Shallow O'Connor, now down towards Britain's. There you can see Bridson staring at the back of Stepanovsky, looking to try and make a move. Not really going to do so down there. Kieran Vidago is in the pits, so trouble already for the 71 car. That is a huge shame. And I did see that he and Wrestle had come together, or they'd gone off track at least. So a huge shame for them. Can we see a replay of what happened to David Wrestle? Oh, so well, that's what happened to David Wrestle and Kieran Vidago. Oh my goodness me. It's the yellow car getting very, very squiggly and sadly hitting Kieran Vidago. Both of them, well, David Wrestle has continued, but Kieran Vidago has recovered to the pits. Back up to the front, and look at this. Stephen Haley fending off the advances of Tim Fulbrook as Tim's gone a bit wide, but does manage to prevent a spin. He was already having a look to hustle for the lead into Lodge Corner. Not far behind, Simon Wilkes has managed to push Olga Stepanovsky back down into fourth. Over the line we come, and this is what we're going to have all race long. Yes, please, let's have some of this. Fantastic stuff. Fulbrook staring at the back of Stephen Haley. Ooh, the tail end of the Hyundai looking to misbehave itself, but managing to hold on and keep it in check. Simon Wilkes is right in touch with the back of the Audi. Look at this, fantastic stuff. Hyundai Audi, brilliant. Love to see some of this. Oh, Michael Havenden getting a bit wide on the exit of Cascades, but does manage to keep it going. There's Assassin. We don't know who you are, but you're having a good old race anyway. On the back of Michael Bridson. Very, very close between the two. At least he's not living up to his name. Oh, Wilkes is off. Simon Wilkes has gone. Well, he's falling down the field. What's happened to him? Oh, no. He's buried it on the outside of the Shallow Corner. What's happened to him? Hopefully we'll catch a replay of that at an appropriate moment. But that leaves Haley and Fulbrook then unchallenged up front. A bit of a gap now. 1.5 seconds, give or take, between themselves and Aldrich, who's being hustled by Bridson. Assassin's fallen off the back of Bridson a little bit. That's going to allow him to attack the Audi in. Oh no, he's gone too deep. Oh no, they're so awkward because if you make a mistake there, you're just on grass. But that's a technical problem because he just did not want to slow down. That is Bridson out. He's returned to the pit lane as well. So 2 gone in race number 1. That leaves Stepanovsky now without any pressure behind. That's everyone from third upwards that's recame to. Oh, Belcher's in trouble, it looks like. Jake Belcher has lost a couple of positions. Dave Wrestle and Simon Wilkes have gone past him. But there is Tim Fulbrook, still nailed to the back of Stephen Haley. As Kieran Vidago's actually come back out of the pits. He's now, well, he's a lap down, of course. He's going to be 2 laps down in a minute. Kieran Vidago, what a shame for him. His pace is usually absolute. I commentated cursed him before we even saw what happened, it seems, by mentioning how strong his pace usually is. There is Haffenden on the back of Williams. That's the battle for 5th position. Very much 2 by 2 at the moment. At the top end of the field. Now, that looked a little bit deep there for Williams, but he did manage to hold on to that just about through Cascades. But the Audi of Havenden couldn't really do anything about it. That's on board with the number 16. What can he do? Now, Wilkes and Proudly have both come into the pits. Oh dear, trouble for them, trouble for the Honda, and trouble for the number 12 car. Hopefully they're going to reappear. Simon Wilkes is now coming back out on track, but look at Haffenden really pushing hard on Williams. That's Assassin already ahead of them in the minty flavoured car, as I'm going to nickname it. I'm trying to remember the sponsor that looks like. Someone I'm sure will know immediately, and the name has escaped me. Stephen Haley can do nothing about the advances of Tim Fulbrook up the top. Now, Tim could be biding his time. He could be confident of the pace advantage he has. But either way, he is pressing on and staying in that slipstream. The other desperately close battle is the one we're looking at, which is Williams and Haffenden. So this is a battle for 5th position that is going on very, very close. Steve Proudly now leaving the pits after quite 44-second pit stop. So a long time in the pits for him. It's a great shame. Jake Belcher's actually in the pits as well, so a long stop for him. Maybe he's hit the wall somewhere along the line. That's the lead battle, as I was mentioning earlier. Fulbrook and Haley, very, very close between them. It could well be that Tim... And there's Stepanovsky now. Stepanovsky is closing in on the lead pair, as well as Williams and Haffenden are closing in on Assassin. So the 2x2s are becoming 3x3 now on the bumper cam. Lovely camera on Tim Fulbrook's car. He just showed you how close. Now, this is very difficult to do. To follow a car this close and not hit them is much harder than you might think. David Russell also in the pits. Is Fulbrook, and please don't make a move there. Unless you commit to the move way earlier than that, it's going to go horribly wrong if you try and pass someone at Island Bend. Into Shell Oil's corner, Stepanovsky is gaining on them. Now these top two are going to have to decide what they're going to do. I would imagine Fulbrook may well have thought about staying in the slipstream of Stephen Haley until the last moment. He's not going to have that luxury if Older Stepanovsky is going to join this party, and it looks very much like he's going to very, very soon. My goodness me, this race is absolutely flying by. So there you go, the top three all within a second of each other. Just almost barely over half a second between the top three now. It's about 3.5 seconds back to Assassin, who's got Williams and Haffenden on his tail. So that's these two three-way battles are going to be very hot very quickly. As David Russell now coming out of the pits after 45 seconds of being in there. Oh, Fulbrook again. Now, what we're not seeing is Tim Fulbrook trying to make the move. We're not seeing him ducking and diving and trying to force his way through. So this is what's making me think that he's staying in that position intentionally. Haffenden, however, is having a go at Daniel Williams on the run down to Lodge Corner. Can he get it done? Great move, nicely done. Haffenden knew that Williams was alongside, and that I beg your pardon, other way around. Williams knew that Haffenden was alongside. I knew I'd do that at some point. Haffenden up into 5th position. Daniel Williams now just has to stay in the slipstream to hopefully chase down Assassin once again. The top three getting very close now. You can see Stepanovsky is really trying hard to get into the slipstream of Tim Fulbrook. Now, it could also be, now I've assumed that Fulbrook is kind of just holding station there. That may well not be it at all. They could be pushing as hard as he can, and just Stephen Haley's just got that tiny bit of a pace advantage. It's the fastest lap at the moment. I was about to say actually belongs to Stephen Haley. It doesn't at all. It's actually Older Stepanovsky in 3rd. He's got a 44.4 on the board, which is 0.3 quicker than what Stephen Haley's managed. So that could be slipstream aided. Either way, again, look how close Fulbrook gets. I'm wondering, I'm trying to figure out what he's doing. Is he going to try and make the move, or is he just staying there? Not halfway through the race here, so he's not kind of urgently needing to make a move right now. But he is, I'm sure Stephen Haley is really feeling the pressure very, very intently there up top. I wonder if that was Kieran Vidago we just saw out of the back. Oh, lovely back shot here from Stephen Haley. So this is what's been occupying his rearview mirror all race long, is that ever impending Audi nose of Tim Fulbrook in the 97 car. Not far behind, just saw it at the back of the shot there, is Older Stepanovsky in the 21. Oh, goodness me, I would not want to be Stephen Haley right now. Well, I'd love to be leading the race, but that's not where I'm commonly found. I'm usually found in this seat for a very good reason. I can't maintain this kind of pace anywhere, let alone lap after lap whilst being hustled for the lead. And again, Fulbrook. Oh, that's a big move coming into the first turn. Wow, that caught Stephen Haley very much by surprise. Oh, and he's in the wall. Haley's into the wall now. I didn't see. Now it looks like Fulbrook slowed down there as Older Stepanovsky now takes over the lead. Is Fulbrook trying to give that position back? Yes. Or is he heavily damaged? No, he's in trouble. He's in big trouble, Tim Fulbrook. Oh, as he nearly slams into the side of Assassin. Oh my goodness. Well, that's completely changed the dynamic of the race. Fulbrook now down into 6th place. Was he trying to give that position back to Stephen Haley and then it just all went horribly wrong thereafter? Not sure. Hopefully we'll catch a replay of that to see if there was impact between Stephen Haley and Tim Fulbrook. It could be that Tim was too late on the brakes and didn't intend to make the move into Old Hall Corner. Here we go with the replay then. Let's see what happened. So there's the inside line. from that angle, it doesn't look like there's impact. I reckon Stephen Haley just kind of panicked but the fact that there was someone heavily on his inside line. But Fulbrook felt the need to give that one back, as Tim Fulbrook has returned. He's gone to the pits. So he had a problem of some description that has forced his retirement from the race. That's the third one down. Oh, my goodness me. How quickly things can change. Now, Older Stepanovsky has the lead by about 1.5 seconds or so. So it's not a huge lead by any stretch over Stephen Haley. But if Stepanovsky's got the pace advantage over Stephen Haley, it's going to be a romp away to victory. Still half the race to go, though. So we will see how that pans out. The field now spread out a little bit. Let's have a look at the replay again for the top two, if we can. So that's Stepanovsky coming past Tim Fulbrook. So we need to come a little bit further back from that, unless that's. So we'll hopefully get a replay of that. That was just Stepanovsky taking the lead from Tim Fulbrook. Let's try it again. Hopefully we'll get the start point. Look how Stephen Haley, if we could come back slightly before then, we'll see whether Tim Fulbrook slams into the side. Because the way that Stephen Haley's car was really, really sideways would indicate that Tim Fulbrook did hit the side of it. It's difficult to tell from that first camera angle, but it could be. And that might explain why Tim Fulbrook has such a lot of damage, or why he opted to retire from the race. We'll see, hopefully, if we get a chance to see that replay again. But it does look like Stepanovsky has really started to open up that gap. It's nearly 2 seconds now between himself and Stephen Haley. Assassin, about 3.5 seconds behind in third, but Haffenden is closing him down. Haffenden was 0.8 of a second quicker than Assassin. There they are in the two Audis, so the minty flavoured one, as I've called it. And for some reason, Fulbrook and Williams are swapping around, but they're both in the pits, so I'm not quite sure why the tower is showing them as swapping positions. Maybe they're having an argument for which pit box they're going to be in. And Daniel Williams is coming out. After 2 minutes in the pit lane, he is now coming back out on track, so that's probably why. There he is. He's now coming back out on track. It's definitely worth doing, because, with touring cars being such a hotly fought category, you're always worth coming back out, because you just never know what's going to happen. He's some way down, yes, of course, but you never know. The way that the dynamics can completely change in these races is, it can change in the blink of an eye. So it's always worth coming back out and turning the laps. And there's always the second race. So, never give up is always what we would say here. David Russell, actually, everyone's back out on track now. So everyone has taken my advice, it seems. So there's Steve Brownlee, who's now up to 7th. And again, another reason to never give up. Now, Steve's best lap has been 1:46.5, which has been a bit off the pace of those up front, but he's just maintaining that consistency. Let's put him right in the middle of the field. Now, but in the background, you can see is Daniel Williams, who is about a second-ish quicker last time around than Steve Brown. Well, best lap-wise, I should say, than Steve is. So Steve may well opt to not hold Daniel up too much. We will see. Top 4 are the only 4 that haven't been in the pit lane yet. So as a result, there's about 36-ish seconds between Michael Haffenden and Simon Wilkes, 4th to 5th. But I'm wondering how. Let's look at the lap times. 3rd to 4th, beg your pardon. Assassin and Michael Haffenden. That gap is getting closer. Again, another 0.4 of a second to Haffenden's favour. And there it is. That's the battle for 3rd. And Michael Haffenden so far has had the pace advantage over the Assassin ahead of him. So, or undefined Assassin, to use his proper term as defined by the tower. That's going to take some living there. Again, I'm very curious to know who that actually is. That's the onboard shot, and he's really, wow, that gap has just disintegrated in this lap alone between Haffenden and Assassin. Coming into, I wondered if Haffenden was going to slam into the back of the minty flavoured Audi there, but didn't do so. Into Lodge. Now, where is he going to make the move? Now, he's clearly had the pace to see what the lap times were last time around. 46.2 for Assassin, 45.7. So about half a second to Haffenden's advantage. Where is he going to make the move? That's the important part. Or is Assassin just going to... Whoa! That got a bit ugly. And I thought Assassin was trying to get out of the way then, but then he touched the apex and got very, very squiggly. So that got a tad bit lively. There up top, At the top of the shot, I think that's Stephen Haley, who's in second position and closing in, or has closed in this lap around on Older Stepanovsky. As the leader had a problem, or has he hit a back marker or something? Because that gap has really shrunk this lap pretty much, because Older was slightly quicker than Stephen last time around. So that gap has just vanished for some reason. What is Michael going to do? Into Britain's we come, through onto Hilltop. It's going to be a difficult move no matter where Michael chooses to do it. Oh, is he? No, that door got closed. Careful with the weaving there, Assassin. Might in the eye of the stewards if you move too many times. But this is costing them time. That gap between them and Stephen Haley is continuing to grow. But the gap between Stephen Haley and Older Stepanovsky is still shrinking. So the lead battle is not concluded yet. So we'll see how that... there, you just saw Stephen Haley just disappear out of the shot as we cut to the camera on the outside of Druids. There's a back marker there. That's what's caused the gap to disappear. That must be Kieran Vidago, in which... Oh, no, beg your pardon. That might be Jake Belcher that's just been caught. Either that was David Wrestle. David Wrestle and Jake Belcher are the only ones that are deemed to be on lap downs. Is one of the two. So then, how's this going to transpire? 45.8 for Stepanovsky, 45 flat for Stephen Haley, 46.3 and 46.6 for Assassin and Haffenden respectively. Ooh, well, how is this going to turn out then? Let's see. And again, Haffenden's just got nowhere to use that extra pace at the moment. Assassin's doing exactly what he needs to do to stay where he is. He doesn't need to, defend very, very heavily, just maintaining his line, which is absolutely fair. You don't need to do anything else. This track is that difficult to overtake on in the first place that he doesn't need to do anything silly to try and keep, or to have the best ability to keep Haffenden behind. That was indeed Kieran Vidago that we've just gone past. So my mistake. I thought that might have been Belcher or Wrestle, but no, that was indeed Kieran Vidago in the Simsport colours. That he's now a lap down following his early incident, or his first lap incident. Again, Haffenden just not finding a way past. Ooh, let's cut to our lead battle then, because that's now under half a second. So it's the same gap between those two, and there it is. So Stephen Haley is now caught right at the back of Older Stepanovsky. Ooh, this is going to be very tight as we're getting towards the closing stages of this race. That was Tim Fulbrook you just saw at the top of the shot, who started at the front of the field. So again, there's an indication of you just never know how these touring car races are going to go. And we have the reverse grid race coming up. That's going to be... Well, it's going to be good fun for us. I think the drivers may well struggle a bit more. Not everybody likes reverse grid races, and I do understand that. What was the time? 0.3 of a second to Stephen Haley's favour last time around, and almost identical 0.2 of a second advantage for Haffenden for that battle for third. So all the podium spots in being very hotly contested, but that gap from second to third is just growing so quickly as Haffenden just not finding his way past. Now it's roles reversed. Stephen Haley has got to pick his time right to get past Stepanovsky. Stepanovsky still has, I believe, the fastest lap of the race. He does. 44.4 was the lap time Older Stepanovsky set earlier, and it's still the fastest lap of the race. That's the battle for third. Oh, that's a bit deep for Assassin, but no, Haffenden just could not get alongside. As Kieran Vidago's gone off track, he may well be letting other people through. Oh no, Kieran Vidago's had trouble. Now, I saw that he'd gone off track and now he's recovered back to the pits. So trouble again for the 71 car. I wonder if we'll get a replay of what's going on there, but it may well not be possible with just under a minute to go. Well, here we go. Very nicely done, cameraman. Oh, just understeered off the road. It's probably pushing a bit too hard at Shell Oil's corner. Bit frustrated, probably. Oh, that's Haley. That's Stephen Haley having a go at Stepanovsky. Now we're going to be starting the final lap of the race. This time around, less than a minute to go. The checker flag is going to come out this time around. Stephen Haley knows we've got very little time left to get this race complete. Or to get the move complete, before the race is done. Oh my. So Haffenden and Haley both thinking about how they're going to make their moves with very little time left and with a very, very strong defender ahead of them. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Into Cascades. I beg your pardon, into Old Hall Corner. Now the avenue through Denton's, the slight right-hander coming over the crest, down the hill into Cascades. No way through there at the moment. Now Lakeside, this straight that's you can go a little bit wide as mentioned. You'll just lose momentum, which is the thing that Haley really can't afford. Into Island Bend. Stepanovsky's got himself a little bit of breathing space. He had a really good exit from Cascades that's given him a few more tenths of a second. Oh, he's just decided to push the right foot a bit harder. And out of Shallowa's corner. Wow, that's suddenly Stepanovsky's found a bit more in the tank. That's just given him a little bit more time, but he's really cautious. The Britons. Oh, wow, in the blink of an eye, that's completely changed. But that's caught Haley out slightly. He couldn't use the extra momentum unless he's going to try an outside maneuver coming down towards his lots. That's not really going to work, and he knew it. He backed out of that one. But, wow, that's suddenly changed. Stepanovsky looked like he had a great run from Cascades, but was really slow in Britons. Unless he was just a little bit too deep. I reckon he was just too deep into it. He must have been, because the pace he's had has been so strong all race long. Into Druids, now heading down towards Lodge Corner. Ooh, a bit of a hit at the apex there from Haley, pushing probably a little bit too hard. Very defensive line there from Stepanovsky, going down into Lodge Corner. I can't see that Haley's going to have an answer to here, but he's going to try. He's going to pull alongside, but it's not going to be enough. Your winner for race number 1 here in the TCR Championship for SSRi is Older Stepanovsky in the number 21 Audi. Second is Stephen Haley. What a brilliant race between those two. Third was the Undefined Assassin. Fourth, Flash of the Lights, was Michael Haffenden. Fifth will be Simon Wilkes, 30 seconds down the road. My word, there is Simon Wilkes. Fell, just basically trying to mind his own business in the Hyundai. Wrestle and Kieran Verdago, Kieran Verdago returned to the pits, but David Wrestle has come across the line. Jake Belcher also a lap down. Simon Wilkes will cross the line in 5th position, quite some way behind the leaders, and some distance back again is Martin Bridson in 6th position. There he is, just coming out of Knickerbrook there. So now through Clay Hill and Watertower, that was 40 seconds between himself and Simon Wilkes. Steve Proudley is about 8 seconds-ish behind the number 65 car in the Soul Honda. As we see Bridson coming up to Lodge Corner for the final time in this race. Hopefully we'll have all 12 competitors for the reverse good race. Over through Deer Leap and over the line for Bridson to take 6th. Smash It Proudly over the line in 7th. Fairly lonely race for him, but keeping consistent and keeping out of trouble is what's done well for him. Then Daniel Williams in 8th position, and Tim Fulbrook, the last man over the line on the lead lap. Wow, my word, what a race that was. If this is how the season's going to be, yes, please, we'll have some of this. You'll have to forgive me for grabbing a drink as I'm solo commentating. So, what does that mean for the reverse grid? Well, David Wrestle is going to be taking pole now. Kieran Verdago retired to the pits, so that's probably why that one's been handed over to David. Then it's Jake Belcher and Tim Fulbrook on row 2. Daniel Williams and Steve Proudley row 3. Martin Bridson and Simon Wilkes row 4. Michael Haffenden and Assassin row 5, and Stephen Haley and Alder Stepanovsky taking up the back of the field. No real time to rest, just this 2-minute interlude in between the end of the first race and getting ready for the second one. Tweak of setups or what have you. Oh no, it's fixed setups, I beg your pardon. So you can't be doing any of that. This is probably the only time they've got to have a breather. Everybody has readied up and is on the grid. We'll get this race going as soon as we see the lights. So the second race here for the opening round of the TCR Championship for iRacing here for SSRi. Here we go then, and the lights are out and away we go. Look at the back, look at Stepanovsky. Struth alive, he absolutely took off. So on the inside line, that's Wrestle getting past Kieran Verdago, but David Wrestle's gone off the road, I think. Well, we had an off-track warning for him, but up front there is Night Stalker, which is Kieran Verdago, still side-by-side with David Wrestle coming down to the Cascades. Right there is Tim Fulbrook trying to barge his way through. That's forcing Kieran Verdago wide. There is Williams now getting past Kieran Vidago for third. Tim Fulbrook getting past for the lead on Dave Russell, or is he? That is Simon Wilkes. That is forcing his way through. So Older Stepanovsky has gained 5 positions in the start alone. Holy hell! That was not how that was going to go. He's hit the back of Steve Proudley. Oh my goodness me, way too hot into Shallow Oil's corner for Stepanovsky. And that sadly sent Steve Proudley round. Oh dear, oh dear. So Stepanovsky returning to the pit. He's back on track again, I think. So not good for the race winner. Back up front, though, Williams is there in third position. There he is in the green car, being hounded by Kieran Vidago. Now, Tim Fulbrook is really dance over the distance based on his early pace from the first race, but sadly wasn't able to utilise that fully. We'll see how this goes then. So Fulbrook leads Russell, leads Williams, leads Vidago. Jake Belcher down into 5th position. He's lost a couple since the start. Oh, don't get too fidgety there, Daniel. There's Vidago. It's again should be looking. Oh, Wilkes is in trouble. Simon Wilkes has had trouble. He's coming up as off track for me, and now back into the pits. Stepanovsky is here. I think he's out of the race, isn't he? Oh no! What a great shot! Whoa! Look at this, nearly 3 wide. My word, that's for second. And it's still Russell at the moment. Vidago and Williams side by side as they scream down towards Cascades. Oh, wow. Through Denton's, beg your pardon. But Kieran Vidago manages to just about wrestle third from Daniel Williams. Truth, that was close. Right behind them, Jake Belcher is right there as well. Let's see what happened to Simon Wilkson in the 12 car. Looks like post-incident. And what on earth is going on with his car? Whatever he hit it pretty hard, because even stopping that car was just misbehaving. Hopefully we'll get a replay slightly further back to see how that happened. But there is the battle for second. Tim Fulbrook is gone. 2.5 seconds there. Well, there he is, just going through Britain. He just saw, oh no! Oh, that was so too tight for David Russell. He's caught Kieran Vidago in that battle. He's facing the wrong way. Oh my goodness me. A huge damage to the front of the car. That's the wheel flat on the floor. That's an instant return to the pit for David Russell. Just cut that corner a little bit too close. I did mention that those bollards are very, very nasty. Oh, goodness me. That's not gone well, but side by side, look at that. That's Williams. Who's he side by side with? Beg your pardon. So that Williams second. Assassin in third, I believe. Oh, look at that side by side going on there. That's Haffenden and Brisden. Yes, Michael Haffenden, now in 7th position. Basically, that's was pretty much the battle for second. Well, realistically, battle for third behind Assassin at the moment. That's Belcher, he's down to 6th position now. Fastest lap of the race by Tim Fulbrook up front, 44.8. Nicely done. There is Assassin just going out of the shot. Then it's Stephen Haley, Kieran Vidago, Jake Belcher, Michael Haffenden, Martin Bridson, and about 6 seconds back is Steve Proudley. Now, Simon Wilkes and on my screen, Older Stepanovsky is showing as being on track, but on the tower, he's showing as being out. So I'm not sure why on my screen Stepanovsky is deemed to be on track. I'm pretty sure he isn't, but Simon Wilkes is back out on the circuit. He's a lap down. Where is he? He's still in session somewhere, but we don't know where he is. Oh, side by side again. That's Jake Belcher. That's fending off the advances of Martin Bridson. That's for 6th position, I think. Or is that? Oh no, beg your pardon. That's Belcher on Haffenden. That's the battle for 5th. With Bridson and Kieran Vidago all in short succession. So that's Michael Haffenden having to defend for everything he's got. But Belcher hasn't had a good run through Britain's, it looks like. So that's given Michael Haffenden a bit of breathing space. Oh, Vidago having a look on the inside line coming down towards his lot. Can't use it, though. So it's remaining where he is. They're just behind you. Just saw in the shot. That's Steve Proudley trying to catch on them, I think. Yeah, it will be. Steve, there he is. There's a back marker in the way there. I suspect that's Simon Wilkes that's in between them. That's gaining on this pack, I believe. Yeah, Steve Proudley is actually gaining on this particular pack. The more they squabble, the more that's allowing the Honda to close in on them. There's Stephen Haley on the undefined Assassin. And side by side again, that's Belcher and Bridson. Belcher on the outside line. Oh, Kieran Vidago trying to follow suit. Big move there from the Simsport Ace. My goodness, what a move from Kieran Vidago, making Jake Belcher's day even worse. Oh, that was close to contact between the two, but no impact there as N Stalker, as he's called on the tower. That's Kieran Vidago up into 7th, demoting Jake Belcher down into 8th place. Oh, bit squiggly coming down into Cascades. There was a good move from Bridson, beg your pardon, who's now straight on Michael Haffenden's case. Now, they did gain a bit on the recently demoted Assassin. And there you can see Assassin and Stephen Haley, who I imagine Stephen Haley's going to kind of dance off into the distance a bit. Tim Fulbrick is long gone. He's probably not, unless Tim has a problem, he's probably not going to be pestered again for the rest of the race. But here is Kim Vidago in such a battle. There's Jake Belcher now falling a little bit off. Oh no, Jake's gone off. Jake went off there at Hislop's. Bretton's, beg your pardon. So you can see his car has vanished. That's Steve Proudly. No, that's Jake Belcher. Excuse me, but Steve Proudly's only 3 seconds behind. That's there. I was going to say that isn't the blue one. Isn't Steve Proudly? That is the sole Honda in the field. That I believe is that is either David Russell or Simon Wilkes. Just having a look. It is Simon Wilkes. There's the one in the middle. There is Kieran Vidago all over the back of Martin Bridson for what is going to... that's a battle for 6th place going on. Now behind you see Proudly's gotten past Simon Wilkes. Oh, that's a big move again. He made it work first time. Oh, again. Nicely done. 2 positions in 2 laps in exactly the same position. And that'll be why, because that's into the pits comes Bridson. And we didn't see him hit anything. As we see behind, my goodness me, that looks like Wilkes. Yeah, it was Simon Wilkes trying to get back past Steve Proudly. I mean, you are allowed to do that. You are allowed to unlap yourself from a car as long as you do not impede the car you're unlapping yourself from. As general, rule of racing, you are allowed to do it, but you just got to crack on with it. As Wilkes has gone off track somewhere. Oh, there you go. You can actually see him at the top of the shot. Got a replay here. Now, this is actually Simon Wilkes, and that's how he's gone off. He went a bit too wide, going down into Cascades. Takes, it's never an iRacing race unless we had some bollard death going on. But that one at least was accidental, as usually they die by intention. And, I'm sure there'll be some sympathy from the Road Cone Protection League that we tend to see here in iRacing races. Either way. There is Tim Fulbrick, our race leader. Just to remind you who he is and where he is. He's absolutely miles away. There you go. You just saw at the back of the shot Daniel Williams' car, 7-ish seconds behind. So fairly easy Sunday drive for Tim Fulbrick. Didn't have the rub of the green, as the English phrase goes. I think it's an Irish phrase, actually, which means you didn't have the luck. Oh, Dave Russell has gone off track somewhere. And still going off track, apparently, according to the tracker. What's he done? Oh, he's not done it again, has he? Oh, he's had trouble. Yeah, I wonder if he's had an argument again with one of those bollards. Oh, dear. Well, it's Dave Russell out. I think he lost another argument with those bollards. But that's the thing, isn't it? It's such a fine line between getting a good line and hitting them. So I do sympathise with him. But sadly, his day not getting any better. David Russell out of the session, or out of the race at least. Well, Stephen Haley, 3rd position. That's Steve Proudly on the back of Jake Belcher now. He's closed that gap down pretty quickly. Steady as they come through Denton's down into Cascades now. Steve's really closed that gap down pretty quickly. 45.5 for Steve's lap last time around, which was better than his best from the first race. So finding some extra pace out there. 47.2, which was Jake's best lap this time around. But a good 1.5 seconds slower than Steve was. So Jake may well struggle to keep the charging Honda behind him. And Martin Bridson, who's been through the pits, is 14-ish seconds behind them. So no immediate pressure there. That was Simon Wilkes you just saw going through the shot there. Oh, and that's slow through Britain's for Steve. So not a good run there. It's going to cost him a few tenths over Jake Belcher. Well, that battle is by no means done. You can guarantee that Steve will be back on the Audi's case before too long. Lovely aerial shot there of that very battle. As they head up the hill, up Clay Hill towards Water Tower. you won't see from this camera angle. It's on the right-hand side on the infield. Now through Druids. Now with this is where I think it was where Jake went off before, and keeps it on the straight and narrow this time. And up towards Lodge Corner. Oh, Kieran Vidago's pushing track limits somewhere. I just saw his name flash up as being off track, but he's in a bit of a battle with Michael Haffenden. But whatever off track he's just done has cost him time. Now he's coming. Now that's Old Hall Corner he's just gone through. So he's had a problem at Lodge somewhere, I reckon, whilst trying to fight Michael Haffenden. So he's going to have to close down the number 16 again. Through Cascades, bouncing over the apex. There you see Assassin being targeted by Michael Haffenden. And the gap between Belcher and Proudly is getting very small again. Under half a second between the two. Simon Wilkes is exploring tracks as well. There he is in the background of that shot. So he's had an argument with Cascades, it seems. I did say it wouldn't be long before the Honda of Steve Proudly was back on the case of the Audi of Jake Belcher. He seems to struggle there as well. He's a little cautious coming through Shell Oil's corner. As Kieran's gone off the road again. Stop doing that. That's not going to help you chase. As Haffenden's closing in on Assassin, but that off track from Kieran's been very costly. He's stationary. I reckon Kieran Vidago's stationary. Where is he? Is the ultimate because he's going again. There he is. So he's had a spin coming down into his lot. Let's see what he did. So here we are at Britain's. Bounces over the apex. He just slows down. Unless he got given a cut track warning, which would be a little bit unfair if he did, but that could be why he was very slow. I thought he was stationary, but he was just very, very slow. So that's cost him dearly on his battle with Haffenden, who's now right on Assassin's case. And Stephen Haley is now with Dan Williams for second. So we're over halfway in this race. You can see in the background there is Belcher and Proudly having their argument for seventh straight. So Jake doing a pretty good job of keeping Steve Proudly behind. Oh, it's a good exit from Lodge Corner for Steve Proudly. Is he going to try and commit to the inside line? No. As Kieran's coming to the pits. Oh, is he going to commit to the inside line at Old Hall? No, but even still, a decent racing room given from Jake just in case. Kieran Vidago's now coming to the pits, and there's a go again. A look on the inside line from Steve Proudly. Does not commit to it, though. Down through Denton's and into Cascades. Great scrap here, as this is for what is now sixth position with Kieran coming into the pits. So we've got a battle for second, a battle for fourth, and a battle for sixth. Even numbers being scrapped between Williams and Haley, Assassin and Haffenden, and Belcher and Proudly, respectively. Ooh, I think Steve had to get out of that a little bit. He took a bit of an awkward line going into Shell Oil's corner, if I can get the words out right. I'll catch up with the other battles very shortly. Oh, was he a bit deep there going into Britain's? No, he seemed to get away with that one. That's the battle for second. That's Williams and Haley now. So, as mentioned, Tim Fulbrook is a long disappeared driver now. So we've got a brilliant fight here between Williams and Haley. So they've got, what have they got? About 6.5 minutes to resolve this one. 4-ish laps of the guess. So that's a long time for Williams to be defending. And we know how fast Stephen Haley is. So that's I don't envy Dan Williams at the moment. 45.4 for Tim Fulbrook. He can afford to let off the gas a bit. That's about a second slower than his best, but he doesn't need doesn't need blinding pace. There was a bit of an off track from Stephen Haley there. Oh, side by side again. That's Prouder and Belchley, I was about to say there. Belcher and Proudly. Is Steve going to commit to the inside line? Big move from Steve Proudly. He needed to make it into Old Hall Corner, and he manages to do it. Jake Belcher did a brilliant job of keeping Steve behind for so long that he needed to be a big move. Simon Wilkes now in there. Now back up to the battle for second position between Dan Williams and Stephen Haley. There's an equally hot battle for fourth with Assassin and Haffenden, which we'll catch up with shortly. There's Stephen Haley piling the pressure onto Dan Williams for that second place spot. And pretty much the exact same gap exists between Assassin and Haffenden. There they are at the top of the shot. So you've actually got both battles in that same camera angle there. Although I think, Assassin and Haffenden are lapping roughly the same as Williams and Haley. A little bit, tiny bit slower maybe, but nothing too major. So they're going to maintain broad position. There is Michael Haffenden that's really been closing in on the undefined assassin for so long, and he's now keeping that pressure on. Jake Belcher is staying actually attached to the back of Steve Proudly. You can see on the tower, the darker numbers just indicate the very, very close battles. Oh, speaking of, that's Jake Belcher that's taken 2 road cones with him. He's turned his car into a vampire by the look of that. I suspect he's gone a bit wrong down at Hislop's. What's he done? So he's on the back of Steve Proudly. There's Simon Wilkes right behind them. I was just observing. And he's going to go straight here. Yep, he went too deep. Realised he couldn't turn and went for probably the safer option to take the escape road. Of course, has nullified that particular battle as we jump back to the battle for 4th place. As, they're both going to wander off the road, but nothing too bad. Stephen Haley's made a mistake somewhere because he's suddenly 1.5 seconds behind Dan Williams. So I don't know what he's done there. He's probably just wandered off the road somewhere. Whoa! My goodness me, a bit of tyre smoke there. Now, I don't know if that was a tap of the brakes or just a bit of panic from Michael Havenden as he nearly slams into the back of the Audi of the undefined assassin. Through Island Bend they come. Well, he's doing a brilliant job of hanging on to that 4th place. It was a strong finish for Assassin last time around. As I thought we had someone in the pits then, but no, that's Kieran Vidago, who's been in there for the last 4 minutes. So his day done. Sadly so. It's not been a good day at Oulton Park for Kieran. So a quick rundown. Tim Fulbrook leading the way by nearly 10 seconds now over Dan Williams, who was fending off the advances of Stephen Haley, but with a mistake from the 24 car has meant that Dan Williams has a bit of breathing space. Less than 3 minutes remaining now. We are watching the battle for 4th place between the undefined assassin and Michael Havenden. And behind them, Steve Proudly, quite some distance behind, about 14 odd seconds behind, but he's managed to get past Jake Belcher for that 6th place. Martin Bridson, who went through the pits, is another 4.5 seconds behind, and a lap down is Simon Wilkes. What's Michael Havenden going to do this time? Stays in the wheel tracks of the Audi ahead of him. You'll see from this shot just how hard they have to work at riding the bumps of this circuit. It's not an easy circuit to navigate, Oulton Park, but it's a fabulous circuit when you get the rhythm of it. Through Old Hall Corner, you use as much of the apex as you dare. Stephen Haley's got himself under a second behind Dan Williams now. Through Denton's, now into Cascades, this long left-hander. And a bit cautious there from Assassin, but nothing too major. Over the crest and for Island Bend. We've only seen one major incident, and that wasn't in race trim at that particular point. Now Shell Oil's corner is banked right-hander. Over the top they come. Nothing major going on there for Havenden, or for Assassin indeed. Now into Britain's, the chicane where we saw Dave Wressel's race. Well, it starts to unravel. Oh, crikey, that's so close to the bollard on the right-hand side for Havenden, but he manages to keep his car in the correct shape. Has a bit of a look on the inside line coming down towards Hislop's. You need to be a lot closer than that if you're going to make a move there. And I think Assassin would know that. Through Knickerbrook. And up the hill now towards Clay Hill, which is there. And then Water Tower, next left-hander before the double right of Druids. And Micah just piling the pressure on at the moment. Assassin not showing any sign of faltering. And Stephen Haley's got back to the tail end of Dan Williams. It's probably going to be... Yeah, there we go. So Tim Fulbrook's just crossed the line. This will be the final lap of this race. Fulbrook now 10 seconds to the good. Battle for 2nd and battle for 4th has resumed between Williams and Haley and Assassin and Havenden respectively. Now, will Stephen Haley be able to just find that little extra bit to usurp Dan Williams? We will see. Dan, from that camera angle, looked a little cautious going through Cascades, but nothing too major. Haverden's nearly on top of Assassin now. There they are in the back of the shot. So very, very close. I don't envy our cameraman to know which battle to look at because they're both fantastic and they're both very, very close. Must say thank you very much to Tom Vandermeer for doing a fabulous job with the cameras. Oh, blimey, that was a bit, I think was a bit late on the brakes from Havenden and possibly a bit cautious for Assassin. Either way, it doesn't cause a change of position this time around. Haley is very close to Williams now. There he is now. Who's had the better exit from Britons? Is it going to be a Banzai on the inside towards Hislops? No, they both know better than that. So come through Hislops again. Basically, I think Stephen Henley's just going to have to rely on a mistake from the car ahead. Both of them Hyundais, so no major car difference between them. There's the next battle, which are pretty much following the tyre tracks of the two Hyundais ahead. The Audi's following suit. No major change at the moment. It's all going to come down basically to Lodge Corner. Is that going to cause any particular hassle? I bet you anything Williams is going to go to that defensive line. Oh, he didn't. Oh, is Haley going to banzai that one? Oh, who's braver on the brakes? Lovely aerial shot. Haley's taken second. Your winner for race number 2 is Tim Fulbrook. But in the final corner of the final lap, Stephen Haley banzais the inside line of Old Lodge Corner to take second. Dan Williams third, Assassin fourth, Haffenden fifth, Steve Proudly a distant sixth position. But again, another solid midfield performance from Steve. Bearing in mind, he was facing the wrong way at Old Hall Corner on the first lap after impact with Older Stepanovsky. There's Proudly, there's Belcher, there's Bridson, and Simon Wills has already crossed the line. Wow! That was spectacular. That was absolutely brilliant. So well done to Older Stepanovsky for taking race win in race number 1, and Tim Fulbrook for taking the race win of number 2. Holy moly, that was fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. And if the season ahead is going to be anything like that, yes, please, we'll have more of this. So not mandatory for our drivers coming out, have a chat to us, but it is always nice to get their thoughts and feelings post-event, and really do hope that we get to hear, at least from our race winners, but I wouldn't blame them for being absolutely knackered after all that. So next race will be in 2 weeks' time. If we could have the schedule, please, Mr. Vandermeer. So next time out, we will be in Laguna Seca. So an American classic circuit for these touring cars. That ought to be a lot of fun. Ironically, I was actually did a sim race in touring cars, not in iRacing, admittedly, at Laguna Seca. And I can tell you from personal experience, it's a fantastic race circuit to take touring cars to. Unjumble that sentence, you'll be fine. So there it is. So 2 weeks' time, we'll be at Laguna Seca. So that's January 23rd, right here on this very channel. And then, so every 2 weeks, we'll have the next round. So Oran Park is the third round, a classic version of Silverstone, the 2008 layout for round 4. Then Brands Hatch in 2005? No, let's try again. And for round number 5. And then rounding out the season is one of my favorite circuits. It's Donington National. I mean, it goes so synonymously with touring cars. It would be a crime to not visit that circuit. And that's where the season will end on the 20th of March. Doesn't look like our drivers want to come and have a chat to me, which is absolutely fine. I don't blame them at all. So we will wrap up proceedings here. Thank you very much to those that have been with us throughout the stream and those catching us post-event. A great pleasure to have you on board. So, just as I was starting to wrap up, we do have a couple of people that have decided to come and have a chat to us. So I'll finish off the salutations slightly later on. Let's firstly have a chat with broadcaster come driver Steve Smash It Proudly.
Good evening, chaps. How are you?
Oh, what a race!
It was good fun. It didn't really matter where you were in the field. There was someone to battle with. I had a really good battle with Jake there in the second race. He made it very hard for me to get past him.
He did well, didn't he?
Did very well, and I think we were too wide through a couple of corners, and it was all good, clean fun.
Now, you're the sole Honda pilot certainly for this race. What prompted the choice to the Japanese mark?
Nobody else was picking it, and I like to be different. Simple as that. I asked, I put a couple of comments out in Discord as to what cars people were going for, and I thought, you know what, I'll just be different. And then I did find out that the Honda's probably, it doesn't like curbs, The front wheel drive cars certainly skip about when you hit the curbs anyway, but if you put into the mix with that on the Honda, it also bounces around a lot as well. So it was a case of trying to stay off the curbs. I think out of the three cars, it's got the advantage in top speed. So maybe at some of the faster tracks later on, like Silverstone, it might come into its own a little bit.
Excellent stuff. Is there a particular round you're looking forward to more than the others?
Oh, just all of them, Chris. I mean, this is my first ever league in iRacing. So the pit stop I made in the first race, that's the first time I've ever pitted in iRacing. So it's all one big learning curve. Is this series for me? To be fair, so I'm really happy with the result, and I think it was 2 6th places, something like that. But really happy with that because some of the lads at the front, Steve Haley, Tim Fulbrook, those guys are mega quick, and Simon Wilkes, I think he had an unlucky second race. I'm not sure what happened to him, but he was down the order, but he's another one that's quick. Just a bit unfortunate, I think I got rear-ended in the first lap of that second race. It came from nowhere.
Yeah, it was a little unfortunate for you, but plenty of rounds still to go. Yeah, 2 very solid results there. I think you have every reason to be pleased with that. So Laguna Seca next time out. What are your thoughts towards the American Desert Classic?
I like Laguna Seca as a circuit, but as I said, iRacing's a new sim for me, really racing-wise. So I'm going to get on there and do as much practice as I can and see how the Honda fares around there. I'm guessing it's going to be similar to how it is around Oulton Park. It's maybe going to be a bit of an uphill battle for me, but to be honest, as this event went on this evening, I felt more and more comfortable, and my lap times were getting more and more consistent. And I think, especially showed that in the second race, the lap times were getting quicker and quicker and more consistent.
Good man, proper champion, as they would say.
Proper job, lad.
As they say up north. Thank you very much for that, and we wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season. Thank you very much, Steve Proudley.
Thank you.
Oh, who should we have a chat with next? We would need to have a chat with race winner from race number 2. It's Tim Fulbrook.
Hello. Good evening.
Well, you didn't have a lot to think about really on that race, did you? You just got to the front and ran off.
It was a tricky one because race 1, I felt like I had a lot of pace, and I was really harrying Stephen for the first kind of few laps of race 1, and I went for that move, made the mistake, and then in letting him by and resuming race order, I made a mistake and dropped it, which was just not thinking, just mirror watching. So I think I was really fighting in that second race to make sure I got home. I was even lifting and coasting because I was worried about fuel. Just really wanted to get home and get to the flag. But yeah, a really good start off the line. That really helped. And then I was in the mix with Kieran and David down through Cascades, and just had to pick my line and follow which way was gonna get me through to the front. And then I managed to get a run on David, get past him into Ireland, and then from Shell Oils onwards for the next 11 laps was really just making sure I kept that window and kept the gap to the guys behind.
So a win with fastest lap, and he deems it to be letting off the gas. Goodness me!
Well, I didn't want to make a mistake. The tyre bundles here at Oulton Park are killer. Like you skim them and you are facing the wrong way and wishing you never showed up. So I just wanted to leave a bit of margin. Fortunately, I had a few people between myself and Stephen Haley, so that helped maybe just build a bit of time for me whilst he was fighting with them. I saw he was behind Daniel for the entirety of the race and only got past him right at the end. So I'm really pleased and just good to overcome that error in race 1.
Yeah, Mr. Wrestle will definitely confirm that those bollards hurt and they bite. Sadly, he fell foul of that down at Hislops early on. So Laguna Seca, 2 weeks' time. What are your thoughts? How do you feel you will fare?
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's another good racetrack for these cars. I think there's a lot of with the slightly slower speed from these aren't GT3 cars. With the touring cars, you really have to make sure every line is optimized through every corner, and I think that's something I definitely work hard at. It sounds quite silly, but just driving smoothly and keeping on line, not being all raggedy in these cars where chuck it in a bit too early, you get wheel hopping at the rear and you can find yourself just understeering and waving goodbye to any lap time. But Laguna Seca is going to be a tricky one. I have mixed memories there from doing some Mazda stuff with the SSRi guys, and in GT4s it never seemed to quite go my way, but looking forward to making amends and hopefully picking up another win next time.
we wish you the best of luck for next time out and of the season to come. Thank you very much. Tim Fulbrook.
Cheers, Chris.
Just one more in the box wanted to have a chat to us, and that would be second place finisher Stephen Haley.
Hello, Chris. Good evening, chaps.
Hello to you, Stephen. Well, what a fight you had with Mr. Williams in race number 2.
Yeah, it was pretty close. Managed to nip it up through the middle there. There was a little bit of a coming together. I think early on in the race, managed to get up the middle there, and then tried to catch the top guys. Daniel is it? I think it was. Yeah.
Yep.
Right up to him, then kind of outbrake myself, or I may have touched the grass. I can't remember, towards the back end of the circuit, which just pulled me further out, which was a shame. But managed to catch him back up, and the battle resumed.
Very much so. It was great to see. There were battles everywhere. So Tom van der Meer has done a great job of pointing the cameras in various places, and I've got very little throat left, which I'm always quite happy about in these circumstances.
No, that's good. I'll be looking forward to watching the stream back. We've for a couple of weeks now trying to organise this and to get it on the to get it going, as it were. It's very cool, and these cars are fantastic. We can race so close, and the battles they're just there, and that's what we want to watch, really.
Absolutely. So Laguna Seca, 2 weeks time. What are your thoughts?
A nice fast flowing track. It may suit the Honda, depending whether how it takes the curves, but I think it may well be another very close race. I think nice, fast, like I say, flowing corners. I'm really looking forward to that. That should be really, really cool.
Yep, very much looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to all of them, quite frankly. But we wish you the best of luck for next time out and the season to come. Thank you very much, Stephen Haley.
Thank you, Chris. Cheers.
Right, and that is going to wrap it up for tonight. As mentioned earlier, thank you very much to those that have been with us throughout the stream and catching us post-event. A great pleasure to have you with us. Thank you very much, Tom van der Meer, for outstanding camera work. It's been a great pleasure shouting about the on-track antics of everyone. Thank you to our drivers for putting on a fantastic show. And if you're looking to get involved yourselves, please do head over to SSRi on the socials, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube channel, Discord, all the usual places you would expect. Have a hunt for them, and you may well have lunatics like me shouting about your on-track antics. Until then, 2 weeks' time, as you can see with the calendar, we will be back for the American Classic of Laguna Seca. It's going to be one not to miss. Until then, thank you very much, and good night.